Okay, so in this video, I'm going to go through the third RStudio exercise. And this is a little bit different than the previous two in that this one you're going to be using Jenny AB instead of Jenny.csv. So again, it's jennyab.csv, not just jenny.csv. And you can find this on D2L or the SSD analysis website. So the first step, again, after opening RStudio, is to require SSD for R. It's always the same first three steps. So copy and paste in that line of code. Copy this in. I've already got Jenny AB saved to my computer, so I'm just going to double click on that and then be certain to attach the SSD. And you should be set to go. So to create a graphical representation, the first thing you want to do, just for like a regular A/B plot of her crying, the phase of the crying with labels of days, crying episodes, and Jenny's crying, already filled out for you. Paste that into here. And you should have this beautiful graph already set for you. So over in the graph, you can see number of days, number of crying episodes by day, with a peak of 10 over here. So if you want to separate it, to separate the graphical representation, baseline from intervention, you can put A/B lines, copy this into here. And you can put the line wherever you want. It's going to be somewhere between the baseline phase and the intervention phase. So you just have to click somewhere in between here to make that line to separate them. And it usually picks a good spot for you, so you just click yes if you're happy with it. And you have the line separating baseline from intervention. The next thing you want to do for this activity is to label it. So A/B text is anytime you're going to be putting in a label, and then whatever's in the parentheses is what's going to show up here. So I'm going to copy and paste that into R. So this is the day that Jenny went home sick. So if you wanted to copy the example from the Word document, you could paste it here and it says Jenny goes home sick, which is this outlier. You can kind of see that from the output that I've already put here for you. And then we can make that arrow that's right here. A/B arrow, copy. Make sure to accept that first text. And now we can put an arrow here. I mean, it's not the best, but I'll accept it. Everybody's are going to look a little bit different, so no big deal here. Okay, so I'm going to accept that arrow. It's the opposite direction of this arrow, but all right, so let's look up the median and the mean here. I'm going to put both. For your paper, you don't necessarily need to do both. You can pick one or the other, but I'm just going to show you both for just purposes of illustration for this example. So copy and paste these in line by line. So we can see the median is 5 for the baseline phase, so click here for that line. And the median for the intervention phase, let's figure out what that is. So then after typing in the following code, we'll find the median for the intervention phase is going to be 1. So you can do the same thing, click over here, and we'll get our median line for the intervention phase. So you can go ahead and accept that. And then now that we figured out the median line for the baseline and the intervention, we can go ahead and look for the mean line. In this example, there is the outlier of number 10 in the baseline phase, so it's a little bit different than what we'd typically just be using the mean if there were no real outliers, like that one time where there was a dependent variable of number 10. So I'll just do the same steps here for the baseline mean. So I'm just going to copy this code into here. It's the same as the median, just the only difference is the mean at the end of the code. So here we can see the mean is 4.615 for A, the baseline phase. So we can go ahead and accept that. And then we can search for our mean for the intervention phase with the following code. So just copy and paste that over. And same thing, it's 1.591, so we can just click over here. And there we have it. So similar to other examples, you can just copy and paste this out to Word. So back in our studio, we can just hit export, copy to clipboard, copy these plots, and you can open up a new Word document, Control N, and then paste it in there. And there's the first part of the exercise. For the second part of the activity, if you already have the file open, you don't have to do these 3 steps again if it's already up there. Actually, all you need to do is copy and paste this part in. And there's your regression lines already. So you don't have to do the starting up SSD or anything like that, or attaching the file if you want to just keep continuing with the same data. But for your homework assignment, I'd like for you to try to write up the results of these acceleration line graphs. So under the course content, you'll find how to write up acceleration line graphs. And from that, you should be able to write up both of these, both the intervention phase and the baseline phase, or baseline and intervention would be with the preferred order. And so the second step is instead of just making the acceleration line for her crying behaviors, I'd like for you to make an acceleration graph of her calling out behaviors. So it's going to be the same code, except for instead of crying, it's going to be for calling out. So we can just copy and paste this out again and enter it into R. So I'm going to put this into R and just paste it here and hit enter. And these are her acceleration lines for calling out behaviors. So again, just the same with the first item. I'd just like for you to try to write these up as best as you can. And if you'd like to, you can copy and paste out these graphs as well into the same Word document. I didn't do it in this tutorial, but you can either use your original graphs or the ones that I have in the Word document. It doesn't really matter. So again, if you wanted to export these, you could do copy to clipboard, copy plots, and just paste those into the one Word document that you're going to be uploading to D2L. And that's it for exercise number 3.